Hello everyone and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Gallagher Fragrances. This is the first time that I've reviewed something from this house. We're going to touch upon today the fragrance called Villainess Vanilla. Now again, this fragrance was released in the year 2016. It is a newer fragrance this year. It is available in two main sizes, a 5 milliliter and a 53 milliliter bottle. The 5 milliliter is going to run you $15 retail, and the 53 milliliter bottle is going to run you $60 retail. So this is a very reasonably priced fragrance from an indie or a niche house. This is the first time, again, that I've gotten a chance to experience this house. I got a bunch of fragrances sent to me from the owner of the house, so the way that I actually like to pick out the fragrances to review is I'll just go and pick random and decide, okay, I want to go ahead and review this fragrance just because it sounds interesting. And so this one, that's how I actually picked this fragrance out to review. Now, Villainous Vanilla is, the bottle design at least, is very simple. It's nothing to write home about. It's got the logo on and it's pretty much a glass bottle. So you know, there really isn't much to write home about the bottle. Let's get to the actual juice for the fragrance. Now, the notes are listed on screen. The big major takeaway here, the first thing that I remember recalling when I smelled this fragrance is really the black currant and it's the pineapple. Those two notes take stage first and foremost. And if you are a fragrance enthusiast, a fragrance should immediately come to mind. There are two fragrances that came to mind. One for me was Enchanted Forest, and the other one was Aventus. Those two fragrances really came at mind, especially in reminding me when I smelled off the top. I want you to think of an Aventus, but instead of an Aventus that is held up by a vanilla. And the vanilla of this fragrance, Villainous Vanilla, that's the name of the fragrance, it is held through and throughout the fragrance by the vanilla. The vanilla is keeping up those notes. At first when you start, it's that pineapple and that black currant note. So it gives it this very citrusy, very pleasant vibe that really is sitting on top of vanilla, right? Now, when you first spray it, it is very, I guess you could say, light, right? It's something that, you know, is very soft, it's very pleasing, and it's something that is basically understated. And that kind of remains throughout the entire fragrance, that understatement. It's gonna feel like it's projecting like crazy on your skin, but it's really not going to be going that far away from your skin. So beware, this is one of those fragrances that you think you've oversprayed, but you probably haven't, just because it's not something that's projecting like crazy off of your skin. All right? Now, after you get those top notes of that pineapple and that black currant, that's when you start getting in, and it starts, you know, kind of receding. You start to get a little bit more this rosy vanilla type of smell. And it turns into this very soft fragrance. Now, for the men out there, this is a fragrance that it may be a little bit too feminine for you. Now, it wasn't too feminine for me. I enjoyed it, and I still think that men can pull this off perfectly fine. But it is a fragrance that starts to get a little bit powdery and starts to get a little bit more, I guess you could say, like powdery, understated. And it's, yeah. So take it with you what you will. It kind of reminded me a little bit of baby powder as it kind of began to just go into the ending stages of its dry down. All right. Now, speaking of dry down, this time that it actually lasted on my skin was anywhere between 5 and 8 hours on my skin. So I got a decent range there for lasting on my time, and it starts to hit the dry down at roughly about 4-5 hours into the actual fragrance. So it's no slouch. It actually lasts a good amount of time, but it is deceptive because of that powdery feel that's right up next to you, and it feels like it might be a little bit too long. So also of note is the difference between the initial spray and the dry down really is big. There's a big difference between the two. So definitely when you get this one, put it on your skin, try it out, see how you like it, see how it actually does on your skin. All right. As far as sprays, I generally go about 2 to 3 sprays. 2 is really what I settled on mostly, just because, while other people can't smell you, I don't like to be choked out up close. So I went with 2 sprays. I think it's a great fall fragrance, I think it's a great winter fragrance, and I think it's a good fragrance to wear casually. I don't think it's a good work fragrance or a good fragrance to wear, you know, just willy-nilly out there. Performance, sorry, not performance, but compliment-wise, this did get a decent amount of compliments. So especially of note, the opening. The opening really got the most compliments between that that 0 and like 3 hour mark. This one really garnered the compliments there. But outside of that, it didn't really get that many compliments in that kind of fashion or order. All right. So with that, let's just go ahead and dive right into the actual rating of the scent. If I'm going to go ahead and rate this scent, I give this scent a 4 out of 5. This gets a 4 out of 5. It's a solid 4 out of 5, and I'll tell you why. The first one, scent. I love the scent. I like the scent. It can lean a bit femme, but you know, with that aside, it still is a great smelling scent, and I think he did a great job, or the perfumer did a great job with this actual scent. Now, performance-wise, it gets half a star. It gets half a star for performance because while it starts off, it can be a little bit deceptive. So first, you start off, you've got the blackcurrant, you've got the pineapple, and it starts off like that, but it turns into this soft and completely different actual scent. And more importantly, people really can't smell you from that far away from what I found from my experience, all right? So it's more of an up-close and personal scent for people who come right up next to you and pass you, which can be a good thing, so take with it what you will. Uniqueness. This one gets a perfect 1 star. This is definitely a unique fragrance. Can't really think of any fragrance that it completely mimics or anything like that. Kind of reminds me of some aspects of other fragrances, but what fragrance isn't going to do that? All right. Value. This is a perfect 1 star, as well. For a fragrance that costs $60, this is actually a steal. Definitely something to take a look at and get your nose onto. And compliment factors, this is where it gets the other half of a star, right? Now, the reason I tailor most of my reviews towards men, and if you're a woman on the other hand, this would be a perfect star, so I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. But for men, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, just because, again, yes, it can lean a little bit feminine. You do have to be a little bit more confident in yourself. Not only in the fact that it's not going to project across, but when they do come up towards the end, it is going to be a little bit feminine. All that aside, this is an excellent fragrance, and I am really intrigued for this house, and I'm actually working on some other reviews for some other fragrances in this house. Excellent scent, excellent time for my first time around. So again, 4 out of 5 stars. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this fragrance. Thank you guys, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.